Mainstream reporting often depicts Iran as a fortress of self-sufficiency, housing endless rows of ballistic missiles within vast subterranean cities. But every missile that leaves the pad is a single-use asset. Over weeks of steady conflict, Iranian forces have been launching these weapons by the hundreds. At the same time, American and Israeli forces are actively targeting the domestic facilities where Iran manufactures its replacements. This creates a physical impossibility. If manufacturing is crippled and stockpiles are falling by the hour, a standard firing rate should have exhausted their reserves weeks ago. This chart tracks the depletion of a 10,000 missile inventory. Under the pressure of a 40-day sustained bombardment, the reserves hit zero unless there was a constant external influx of new hardware. The math suggests that Iran is no longer relying on its own production. To maintain this volume of fire, they must be receiving a steady stream of advanced weaponry from a superpower with the industrial capacity to restock them in real time. The first component of this support isn't physical hardware, but a constant feed of real-time battlefield intelligence provided by Beijing. China utilizes its global satellite network to maintain a permanent watch over American and Israeli military installations throughout the region. These satellites monitor the movement of high-value assets, specifically identifying moments when expensive aircraft are left exposed on the tarmac rather than secured in hangars. Beijing relays this specific data to Iranian command, pinpointing the exact coordinates and timing for strikes to ensure the highest possible success rate. Iranian forces act as the trigger pullers on the ground, but the strategy behind their precision is a direct export of Chinese military intelligence. Restocking a drained arsenal requires a logistical solution that bypasses standard maritime shipping, which would take weeks to move heavy weapons from the Chinese mainland. Instead, China utilizes the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC, to move hardware overland. This route originates in Kashgar and cuts south through the steep, heavily fortified terrain of Gilgit-Baltistan. This paved mountain network allows convoys of heavy military trucks to bypass the slow and easily monitored sea lanes. The highway terminates at Gwadar Port, placing the supply line directly on the Iranian border. Moving by road across this corridor allows Beijing to push fresh ballistic and cruise missiles into Iran in as little as 1 to 2 weeks. This infrastructure functions as a high-speed military lifeline, providing the logistical speed necessary to keep the Iranian war machine operational indefinitely. The cost of bankrolling a war in the Middle East is measured in billions, raising the question of what Beijing gains by sustaining this level of conflict. The strategy is rooted in the 1979 invasion of Vietnam, a conflict that ended in a costly and humiliating retreat for the Chinese military. That defeat established a permanent doctrine in Beijing: never commit Chinese troops to messy, direct engagements in foreign territories. By providing the hardware and intelligence for partners like Russia and Iran, China ensures the United States remains bogged down in expensive, long-term conflicts without risking a single Chinese soldier. There's also an immediate economic incentive. China, as the world's second-largest economy, currently purchases roughly 90% of Iran's oil to fuel its industrial output. The United States is moving to block this pipeline, with military plans to blockade the Strait of Hormuz and choke off Tehran's ability to export its energy. Washington is pairing this military pressure with an economic ultimatum, threatening to levy a 50% tariff on China for its role in funding the conflict. While the fighting is concentrated in the Middle East, the strategic outcome is dictated by the push and pull between Washington and Beijing. Iran provides the geography and the personnel, but the war itself is sustained by a shadow supply chain thousands of miles to the east.